This life is tearing me apart. This life is tearing me apart. Remember when I was with you? Love was all we really knew. I saw the beauty in this world all around me. And I have tried to understand. You know, I've done the best I can. I miss the love that once was there to guide me. This life is tearing me apart. This life is tearing me apart. I didn't know it was nothing from the start. After all we've been through, where are you? So now it's over, gone so fast. Still all these pictures of my past. I thought that love was meant to last forever. This life is tearing me apart. This life is tearing me apart. Should've known we'd never get that far. After all we've been through. Falling down the way it used to be in the beginning. Falling down, no matter how many times you are forgiven. Falling down. This life is tearing me apart. This life is tearing me apart. This life, I will be riding high. Yes, I will be riding
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. Monte The Pharaoh, only seen here out of Indie Music TV. At the board is our super producer, Matty Ice. Matty, how are you, buddy?
What's going on?
What's going on?
Yeah.
You mean you're not like doing great as always?
I'm doing amazing.
By the way,
Thank
Matty
you.
revealed he's taking a trip this weekend to Boston.
Why the hell are you going to Boston? You know what's up there? Lousy wrestling podcast. Why would you go there?
Oh,
Did you forget?
You're going to change the trip now,
it's
right?
so boring. I didn't even know he was up there.
Oh,
My
bam.
God.
Even the producer's getting
Holy
involved.
Boston Red Slops.
To the right is the star of the show, Mr. Jimmy Farrow. Jimmy, how are you, pal?
I'm doing great. Once again, since about 4 o'clock in the morning, I woke the birds up, shook them right out of the nest. Here I am.
Shaking the birds out.
I shook them right out. Get the hell up. You're not even chirping yet, dude. What happened to me? I used to be a vampire. Now I'm up before the birds.
Now you're a normal human being.
I'm not. Oh, I don't want to be.
So we lost Mr. Wonderful this week. Paul Orndorff, known to wrestling fans around the world as Mr. Wonderful, died at the age 71 after dealing with severe spinal cord injury that hampered his career during the mid-'80s and survived a bout of cancer in 2011. Orndorff finally succumbed to an array of health issues that had plagued him in recent years.
Including dementia, of course, which they feel most likely contributed to Mr. Wonderful's death. You know, Mike, I was talking to you a little earlier about it when I heard about it. Look, I can't take this anymore. I know I say this like it seems like every week, but it's happening every week. There's more and more passing away on an alarmingly regular basis. But this one? This guy has to be, this legend has to be in the top 5 of the early WrestleMania era easily. After Hogan and Piper, I kind of feel like he's number 3. I mean, of course you could always mention Andre, of course, you know, during the early WrestleMania days. But man, oh man, how many stars were bigger than Mr. Wonderful? This guy was at the center of it all. I mean, he was in the main event of WrestleMania 1, for God's sakes, and we know he all wrongfully took that pin thanks to that reckless, careless Bob Orton freaking with the cast who ruined it. And Mr. T got to have his hand raised, which still annoys me, although I'm glad Hogan had his hand raised, but T? Boo. Boo, Mr. T. Boo. Anyway, I guess we can never have him on now.
Hogan got the win on that, right? He pinned him.
Yeah, well, of course. Yeah, but Mr. T still had his arm raised.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sickened by this. This is sickening, you know? I'm not a big Mr. T guy.
You know, this one hit home a lot. Like,
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
not obviously, but, you know, again, I have a list of favorites that I grew up watching. But Orndorff was always there, like in the middle of it. I mean, I can remember when I was in the Army, not to jump ahead, but I was in Germany for the first 2 years in the military. And they would, you know, you'd go to the video stores back in the video days.
Sure.
And, you know, I had no idea at the time that there was something called the big event, right? But the tape was there, and I'm like, oh, good, I'll get to watch some wrestling. And watching that crowd, Orndorff, who turned on Hogan, right, which was one of the great heel turns ever, and watching that match made me just think about how enjoyable Orndorff was. It brought me back to when I first started watching wrestling, when you introduced me to it, and when he was in Georgia Championship Wrestling.
Did Mr. Wonderful have the greatest physique of the 1980s? Because I almost feel like he did. I'm trying to think of someone who was more impressively put together physically than Paul Orndorff. Can you think of anyone? I mean, sure, there were other big. It was the age of it, but there's something about Mr. Wonderful's build. He was massive, but he was proportioned so well. The thick legs and everything. The guy was just an amazing specimen. I mean, you hit the weights all the time back in those days. I'm sure Paul Orndorff was like, you know, I want to look like this guy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, my God.
I was thinking about the turn of wrestling, right? When, you know, you talk about how, again, everybody's got to realize, I think, that WrestleMania obviously changed wrestling.
Yeah,
and
it did. Of course.
And the core behind that was obviously Cyndi Lauper, Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper, Mr. T. But you know who deserves a B in there is Paul Orndorff.
Right. He was just as flashy and exciting and as intense as anybody you just named in many, many ways. He certainly was not just there, if you know what I'm saying. Some guys are fortunate and float into amazing programs, and they don't have as much of an it factor as their opponent or whatever, but they still somehow were remembered like, yeah, Mr. Wonderful was an intense talker, an intense fighter. He was intense, and he came across so main event. He was just a main event guy. And it really breaks my heart what happened to him physically over the years. I do have a hard time watching that. over the years. When you see a guy who was in the kind of shape that Paul Orndorff was most of his life succumb the way he did, it's very humbling. It reminds you that,
Again, he did live to 71.
Sure. Life is fragile, though. That's
Right?
all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, my God, this was an Adonis. And he suffered at the end. And
couple
it's
of really good
so
comments.
Painful to hear,
802 Blues says Piper
up,
and
802?
Orton workout in New York City before WrestleMania. I don't know if you remember that one.
Yep.
That's incredible.
Yep.
Um,
Oh, man, it was
CJ
great.
Duncan, let's not forget the heel
CJ.
turn, the clothesline, and pile driver on Hogan when they faced Stud and Bun.
By the
Bun
way,
and Stud.
who had a more vicious pile driver than Paul Orndorff?
No. Yes.
We were watching.
Oh, my God.
We were guys, man. Look up pile drivers with Mr. Wonderful. This guy's brutal. I mean, how did he even pull it off? How did he pull? Like, we saw one with Hogan. How did Hogan not get a broken neck on it?
I'm surprised no one mentioned. Not to jump, but no one mentioned the fact when they did the old gym thing when Orndorff's training all the fat people and the skinny
my
people in
God.
the gym. That's one of the
my
most funniest
God.
vignettes. I mean,
Amazing.
that's when wrestling was wrestling,
course.
guys. I
Of
mean,
course.
oh my God.
We were very, very
And
lucky.
you could go to
have been alive
WCW
during those
too
days.
when they did that whole gimmick with Mr. Wonderful trying to be Mr. Wonderful again. And he was going to the
But
psychiatrist.
I think the initials were on his shoes, and they were like, but that says PO or whatever. And he was like, oh, it stands for perfect, whatever. He came up with something, and it was just like hilarious. Well, when did he ever give us a bad memory, basically? Paul Orndorff is
JJ,
one
none
the
of
all-time
us
greats.
is immune to aging and the effects of lives daily to the fullest. Yes. The one thing I remember Paul Orndorff for most, Jimmy, is we talked about him a few times. We had a friend in high school named Joe Silverstein, and Joe was a huge wrestling fan. He was an NWA guy.
Yeah, he was.
Right? But the one guy he loved was Paul Orndorff. And Joe at the time was a bit overweight.
Joe was a pretty big dude, man. I would have liked to have.
Well, the thing is
Joe's a
that
pretty big guy.
talk about this. Talk about like idolizing these stars.
Yeah.
He hit the gym, and Joe became
Shush.
like a big because of Paul, Mr. Wonderful Orndorff.
I didn't see Joe too much after high school. Is that what happened when you
Yeah.
saw me? He hit the weights? Because
Yep.
Joe was a big guy to begin with.
Absolutely.
He must have gotten monstrous.
Absolutely.
Wow. Cool.
And I think about
Very cool.
Orndorff in his robes.
Oh my God, he had great robes. Great robes. He's a great talker. I think he's an underrated talker.
Oh, absolutely.
I thought he was an excellent speaker most of the time. There are some great outtakes. Did you ever see them with Mean Gene where he's
Oh, my
flubbing
God, that's
and
the best.
Mean Gene cannot keep a straight face? Hilarious. We have lost one of the greatest wrestlers of the early WrestleMania days, and quite honestly, during the '80s. You can't get much more of a special time period or a more important time period, a more revolutionary time period between the MTV thing, Vince McMahon starting to take WWE global, succeeding, risking the mortgage on his house, kicking all these things off with Hogan, Piper, Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff. Rest in peace. Legend.
Roy says Orndorff had a decent run in WCW2, TV champion as well, tag team champion with Paul Roma, pretty wonderful. Maria Davis, Paul, he made made wrestling you couldn't wait to see him in the ring.
Well said,
I saw
said.
Yard Ape,
Yard Ape.
Monte The Pharaoh. Something that doesn't get talked about is how long Orndorff and Hogan's feud is 60,000 as they drew basically in a house show in Toronto. Yeah, that's the big event.
Right.
That was a
Yep.
big deal.
Yep.
I thought I heard Kevin Sullivan say that they thought that was the end of Orndorff's run.
Okay.
And they didn't expect that many people. I don't know that to be factual. From what I understood, that the big event was supposed to be Canada's WrestleMania.
Okay. That would draw 60,000
I've also read
probably.
numerous times that if Bundy wasn't going to work out for WrestleMania 2, that was going to be
going to
Orndorff's
Orndorff.
spot.
It makes sense. Makes at the time. That makes sense. Would you have rather seen that?
No.
Hogan
Nah,
Orndorff?
I don't want to change history.
I'm just curious,
I don't want to change history.
I actually liked Bundy. I thought King
I
Kong
thought
Bundy was
it
fantastic.
I thought it was
so what do
fine.
I know?
I thought that was a great match.
Quite a bit.
A couple of years ago when I don't know if you were with me, we were at the big event. And
Probably. I've been to a lot of them now with you. But go on.
Orndorff was there signing.
Right.
So went up to him, and I knew he had problems there.
Yeah.
I will tell people a really touching moment was Pat Patterson went up to him.
Oh, you saw this.
I was actually started taking pictures of them together,
Oh,
and then
wow.
their agent was like,
There's always somebody to ruin a feel-good moment.
right.
Go on. Yeah.
I wanted to get they were willing to pose for me because I asked them to pose for me for a picture
This
too.
agent got in the way?
And he was like, no,
Dude,
no.
I would have hit him with a left hand and
But
taken the photo.
The sad part
Bang.
is,
I would've.
is Paul Orndorff did not know who he was. Not
Oh, my
Paul
God.
Orndorff did not know who Pat Patterson
I understand
was.
what you're saying. It got well. We've seen it before. Unfortunately I'm grateful that I got to see Jimmy Snuka, but we saw what happened with Jimmy. We saw Jimmy right at the end of his life, and he was definitely struggling. Remember how he signed it? I think he autographed my picture to himself.
Yeah, right. That's right.
I mean, you know.
He did. He did. Roy Bundy was the master of the 5 count. He was.
I loved Bundy. I thought Bundy was great. Bundy does not get enough credit, in my opinion. He transcended. For God's sakes, he was unmarried with children. He was a Bundy. He was great.
So all I could think about is Joe's up there, and now Joe, you get to see and hang out with Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. I hope you both get to meet each other up there. And rest in peace, Paul Orndorff, for what you've done for this industry and for its fans. You made your mark on wrestling, so God bless you. Monte The Pharaoh would like to thank the band that sings the theme song. Mr. Jimmy Farrow, the star of the show, along with his partner Bart Griggs, are part of the band Wisteria Hall. Wisteria Hall sings such great songs as In My Dreams, This Life, which you heard in the beginning of this show, is a tribute to Mr. Paul Orndorff. Not far behind, Here Comes the Rain. You can find their music on the Wisteria Hall YouTube page. Please hit like and subscribe.
Yeah.
You can listen to them and download their music from Spotify, Apple Tunes, and Reverb Nation. If you didn't know it, it is Thursday night, and you are watching Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte The Pharaoh, where you can see us on the Monte The Pharaoh YouTube page, the Monte The Pharaoh Facebook Live page, the Monte The Pharaoh iHeartRadio page. Listen to us on Spotify, Anchor. Watch us on the Monte The Pharaoh Twitch TV page. And if that's not enough, if you are living in New York, you can catch us on Channel 115 every Tuesday from 7 to 7:30. And for early risers, at Saturday, 6 a.m. to 6:30. And just a few hours from now, on Friday on Channel 20 from 2 a.m. to 2:30. We'll be right back with this week's show after this commercial break.
See you in a sec.
Jeff Quest, graphics design, custom vinyl lettering, and all your art and video needs. 516-317-8204. That's for Jeff Quest, graphic design. The Monte and the Pharaoh Show is brought to you by...
Because wine is your second favorite 4-letter word. California wine, New York attitude. Good fucking wine.
Yeah.
You want to star in your own success? Call QuickCast. www.quickcast.com. 866-7-CAST-NOW. That's 866-7-CAST-NOW. QuickCast.
Start your own success.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte The Pharaoh, only seen here out of Indie Music TV. Once again, we want to take some time out to thank all the fans out there who do support our show.
Oh, yeah.
Maria, CJ, 802, Bronze, A Mess, Dan Crusader. The list goes on and on and on. Todd.
Russell out there?
Russell is not out here, but
Russell.
Bronze, wait, let me see. I'm sorry, A Mess brought up, does everybody remember King Kong Bundy's match against Bud Bundy as the Bumblebee? That's the one you were just talking about, right?
Yeah. Oh my God! What else was King Kong Bundy in? Was he in other stuff? He was in other stuff too, wasn't he? I can't think of it right now. I also know that he caused you to panic completely when he beat up Hogan. But
Yeah, that was a rough time.
You lost your mind. I gotta go, babe. Where you going? I gotta go watch Hogan and Bundy.
That was
that
when
chick is smoking. Where you
that's
going?
when I was
gotta go.
Farrah was telling a story. I was at a bar one night, and
Sorry. It's
Bundy
classic.
broke Hogan's ribs, and I was about to cry, and she was really hot looking, and I left because I was flipping out because Bundy just crushed Hulk Hogan. What a nerd. I don't even know. What was I thinking about? I have no
that's
idea.
great, though.
All right, in news, Michael Elgin, or Aaron Frobel,
It's Michael
a.k.a.
Elgin to
Michael
me, but-
Elgin,
Okay.
was arrested for violating a protective order against ex-fiancée who alleges sexual, mental, and emotional verbal abuse. As learned, Elgin was arrested on 6/29 and charged with violation of a protective order. The case has been assigned to investigation. The order of protection was filed in May by his fiancée, who will only use her first name, Alex. Says she left her home for my safety in April because I was being abused physically, mentally, and verbally.
And emotionally.
Farrah.
Okay. I understand that. I do believe Mike's had some problems in the past. Also, all I can say is what I know of Michael Elgin from when I've seen him. What I've read doesn't sound good at all. What I know of Michael Elgin, man, oh man, does he hide. If this stuff is true, wow, does he hide it well. He is one of the most quiet, soft-spoken, reserved people I have probably ever come across, and he was very, very, very pleasant with me. At the last big event, we had interviewed him on Monte The Pharaoh the day before with the late Road Warrior.
Right.
And we saw him. I saw him the next day at the big event, and we talked for a good 20 minutes, me and him just talking, and about all wrestling, of course, and stuff like that. But I can't believe that this is what is going on, because, as I said, just from the couple of times I've seen him, it's shocking to me. I'm very surprised. Let's put it that way.
Wait a
I'm
minute.
just very freaking
Hold on.
surprised.
This might be the funniest comment ever.
What's that?
Braun says, who gets arrested for domestic abuse while wearing a Clubber Lang shirt?
Clubber Lang. Wait, really?
That's the shot.
Hey, boy.
This
Hey,
Clubber
boy.
Lang shirt.
Well, remember that? Hopefully.
I gotta tell you,
With Adrian?
I
was great.
agree with you on the Elgin thing. He was a very nice,
so
quiet, but again, that's what you just never know about people. And
Right.
again,
Right.
there's always truths.
I mean, how do we know that she's not a nut job? We don't know. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time of somebody just, and I know it goes both ways. It wouldn't be the first time someone has wrongfully just pressed charges on someone else because they want to get at them. I don't know what happened. I have no idea. All I can say is that from knowing Michael Elgin, the little bit I have and talking to him, I'm shocked. He hides it well, if it's true. I'll leave it at that. Do I personally think it's true? I'm having a hard time believing that. Quite honestly,
Well, covered in a previous episode, the woman who accused WWE star Matt Riddle of choking her and forcing her to perform oral sex has dropped her lawsuit against the wrestler on TMZ Sports, has learned, which we covered a couple of months ago. where you had your rant.
to be heard from again.
Quote the Pharaoh.
Hope it was worth it.
Court doc show Candy Cartwright, a pro wrestler whose real name is Samantha Tavel, filed for dismissal on Monday.
Oh, you mean now she can get back with Trying Idol?
Oh my God.
He's trying. Trying Idol. He's trying.
Oh
What?
my God.
What? Fuck the world. What?
Just kidding. So originally, as discussed,
Oh, yeah.
she had this lawsuit against him, and he went to social media, which we did a whole segment on it a couple of months ago, and you said that you didn't believe her, and I
Nope.
guess you're 100% right.
Nope, didn't believe it then. Don't believe in that. Don't really care.
So
See you later.
let me
bye.
ask you this: someone goes out of their way to try to punish someone.
To cash in on a guy who had just gotten
And they
promoted
don't
to
cash in
SmackDown, and they knew
anymore.
that they could make optimal money
Shouldn't
off
she
him?
get
Dude, I've always been a
Joe
fan
Shipley
of.
says she's probably got paid off.
I've always been a fan of if you come up with bogus charges, If you come up with bogus charges and it turns out you're just as much of a dick, if not more, your ass should be,
Well, Joe Shipley says she probably got paid off.
What, to shut the F up? To just go
Maria
away?
Davis
Who
wanted
knows? I can't
said
argue with
wanted
that.
to ruin
That's
his career.
possible. What was that?
Maria Davis said she wanted to ruin his
I'm with
career.
Maria on this one. I do believe that she, and she was looking to cash in. He had just been promoted to the big time, and she knew that was the moment to try to get optimal cash out of him.
Well,
So,
I'll
to me,
say
it was see-through, and it's obviously see-through. And even if she was paid off to shut the F up and go away so Matt Riddle can get what he deserves now, a career, because he worked hard to get to where he's at. Leave him alone, and leave his wife alone, and go away. Yeah, no good Rick and Rackin'. Anyway.
Well, I'll say this.
Yeah. It's rough, man. But I'm glad it was dismissed, I'll tell you that.
My thought is this: Riddle, when he did that video,
Mm-hmm.
he seemed very, convicted toward, like he was like, "This is what happened."
Yeah.
So I think she paid him off. No, I think that she probably just didn't want to continue on with it because it wasn't going to go
She
anywhere.
wasn't going to get anything out of it, and she was probably starting to really lose money paying for her legal counseling. So you know what? You shouldn't have done it in the first place. I never trusted
Here's a
it.
really good point. 802 says, it's crazy. Those guys don't have to force a chick to do anything. I'm sure there's plenty of willing women out there. Joe Shipley says, well said, Pharaoh.
Yeah, thank you.
Again, 802, I'm not sure if I agree with that comment, right? It's like, doesn't matter. Sometimes people feel privileged that they think they can do whatever they want.
This is true. 802 has a point that when you're a star on that level, Matt Riddle is a little bit of a rock star. We found that to be with a lot of these wrestlers. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sure, there are women who are going to make your night very easy. That is true. However, there are some people out there, and I hope this is not a shock to you folks, who could care less if Matt Riddle is a famous professional wrestler. And if they get hit on at the bar, they'll go, who cares who the F you are? I know this for a fact. Because if I can quickly tell you a true story, I was with one of my friend's sisters at a bar. She's very attractive, and up walks a fellow from the NFL. I don't want to embarrass anybody, and this guy's actually a great guy. Walks up to her. He's from the NFL. He played right here in this area. He's a big star. Blah 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 blah. Starts hitting on her. She could care less. She was not attracted to him.
Right.
I think she went out with the guy that fixes cars down at the garage in Northport. He's way better looking. She liked him. She didn't give a damn who he was. And I was just like, wow, no wonder I think you're so cool. You know what I mean? Because, she just was not. So it goes both ways. I agree with 802. There's plenty of them out there to be like, oh, Matt Riddle, can I play your fiddle? There's plenty of them.
Todd Beecraft says Alberto Del Rio had charges against him were dropped. What About says, I don't believe these chicks of this era.
I'll tell you, though, Alberto Del Rio, I think, is a steaming pile of shit. But that's a different story. I'm sure you probably feel that way, too.
Not a fan.
I do not like Alberto Del Rio. I think he's done enough things over the course of time to get an idea that no matter what, maybe one or two things got dropped, but what about the other 15? That guy annoys the shit out of me.
I will say this.
And I used to be a big fan of his, too, especially when he was beating Cena all the time.
I will say this to
Anyway.
Miss Candy Cartwright, that
Yeah.
if you did make up these charges, you should just be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah.
Because you had an affair with a guy, it
Right.
didn't go your way,
Right.
you move on. You
Right.
don't try to ruin people's lives. I mean, that's just terrible.
Yeah.
So if that is the case, you really should go back and reflect on your life. And first of all, say, maybe I shouldn't have sex with a married man.
Well, mistake number one.
That's number one.
Mistake number one.
Number two, if you ever felt uncomfortable around someone, then maybe you shouldn't be sitting shotgun in a van with them, right?
It might be a good idea.
Right? So there's
Stop
two
making
things.
sense.
Don't
What are
have
you
sex with a
doing?
married man. Don't sit shotgun with them.
Right.
And then three,
Hey.
it's
Oh,
like,
boy.
what do you expect?
Yeah.
What do you expect?
Oh, boy.
With that, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
You could always go back to Crying Idol. See you in a sec. Again.
Crying idol.
M&J Video Games and Collectibles. Sport and non-sport cards, wrestling items, autographed items. We buy, sell, and trade. M&J Video Games and Collectibles, located at 1049 Queen Street, Southington, Connecticut. Call us at 1-860-479-9223 or 860-93-GAMES. M&J Video Games and Collectibles. Oh, what's up, Mike?
Hey, Jimmy, what's going on?
Yeah, nothing much.
You know, Jimmy, I love this country.
Oh.
I love to buy Made in America material. And I love to buy my artwork at TAG, T-A-A-G, Made in America, 14 East Broadway, Port Jefferson, New York, 11717. The shop at the corner. All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. You were watching Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast,
Yeah.
Monte The Pharaoh. I think I said that twice.
Number one.
Holy
Yeah.
cow,
Hey,
man.
look, we're both up since 4 in the morning. I think the audience understands that, we're a little delirious.
All right, so disappointing news. The WWE will not punish Jimmy Uso for a DWI.
Oh, boy.
Due to big plans already in motion, Jimmy Uso will not be punished by the WWE for his latest DWI due to the plans that they already have in motion and too big to derail. Jimmy Uso was arrested for his second DUI. So first of all, I want to apologize because I think on the last show I
Which
said
is say
5
like 40?
DUIs, right, or something like that.
Well, okay, he's had two in the last 2 years.
The multiple-time tag team champion spent the night in jail and faces a variety of charges, including speeding and another for running a red light. Fans questioned whether Uso would suffer any sort of punishment from the WWE, and judging by his role last week's SmackDown, the answer to the question is no. Pharaoh?
You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. Okay, well, it goes something like this. Apparently, there are certain folks in the company that are untouchable. And apparently it's that family. I don't think anybody in that family can get in any trouble, it seems. Am I wrong to say that?
I don't think you're wrong to say it at all.
I mean,
don't know.
how is Jimmy working literally almost
So
the next night?
I want to go back a week ago when this first happened.
What if
you
he
and
had
I
killed someone?
But you and I were talking,
Yeah.
right? And you gave me 2 scenarios. You're
Yeah.
right. You gave me this scenario if Jimmy Pharaoh was running the WWE,
Right.
and then Jimmy Pharaoh as the television host.
Okay.
So can you give me what you said about Jimmy Pharaoh, the man who runs the WWE?
Well, if I was running the WWE and this was the situation, I tried to put myself, because of the family, I think what I said to you is I tried to put myself, because of the family history with my company, saying, well, let's pretend I'm owning it.
Right.
You know how far back that family goes with Vince. And I thought to myself, do I really come down on it's not just like any other company. Vince has known these guys probably since they were little kids, little children, the Usos, because the family, he's known the family through 40 years, going back to the Samoans and Peter Maivia. You're going back to the 70s, for God's sakes. So you're not just dealing with your employee here. You're dealing with someone who you could almost call family. Now, I know that Vince separates and business is business, but apparently it's not in this situation. Apparently it's not. I have to assume that when Vince hears anything that happens to somebody like Jimmy or Jay, he's probably known them since they were babies. And it might actually be more difficult for him to just look at it as a business and go, no, you idiot, you're fired.
Wow.
Instead, he probably looks at him and goes, my God, this guy was at my barbecue when he was 3 years old.
I didn't expect that take from you.
You know,
but I didn't expect that take.
Okay.
Could the take? Listen, certainly could be exactly what you said. Very well thought out.
I'm trying to understand why
But
Vince is.
could it be
because
this?
My reaction is get the hell off the fucking.
Could it
out
be
of here.
this?
You're fired, or you're suspended, or you're something.
But could it be this?
What's that?
SmackDown need better ratings.
Yes, he's in a main event storyline.
Hold on, right?
This timing is terrible.
AEW is starting to breathe down the
Yeah.
giant corporation's neck.
There's always that too.
And then to the title of the show, who is truly the head of the table? I heard a rumor out there. Don't know how true it is.
It's Roman.
Does Roman say, hey,
It's Roman.
mess around, and I'm going to mess around with you?
Right. Do you really think Roman did that though, or is that just another rumor? Because after all, I would like to believe that when Roman was sick and he's had his bouts with leukemia and stuff, I think that Vince has been very good to him. Vince has always been good to him. Let me tell you something, just for the record. If Roman Reigns turns around and ever
quits on Vince McMahon and screws him and goes to another company, shame on you, Roman Reigns. Because for the last, and everyone out there, you know it, since Vince decided 6 or 7 years ago, he's my guy, and I'm going to keep him as a baby face, you know how much a lot of fans resisted that, and Vince just kept pushing Roman Reigns to the moon. If I was Roman Reigns, I'd be very grateful. Because that pushing to the moon resulted in what we have now, the ultimate Roman Reigns, the bad guy Roman Reigns. Now all those wins over all those years the people were all upset about do nothing but enhance the resume and the current Roman Reigns. You know, so if Roman Reigns ever bolted for AEW, you ungrateful. Are you kidding me?
Well done,
Vince
sir.
booked you like a wrestling god.
CJ Duncan says, such a crock. I threw one of my own family members out of the bar I used to bounce at. Business is business.
Right.
Good point.
Right.
Yard Ape, they can always punish him for it in the ring for by burying him.
Very interesting.
These are really
Wow.
good comments.
Yeah.
All
no,
of
I
these are
totally
true.
agree, by the way, with what a crock, you know. I mean, if it was me, the guy's suspended. Okay, he's done it twice now. I would have suspended him for a year. I would have been like, get out of here, see you next year. And if you do it again, by the way, that's 2. You're lucky no one's dead. Okay, number 3, you're fired. I never want to hear from you again. Get the hell out of here. Just as long as we're clear on that. So that's what I would have done. I would have suspended him for at least a year. I would have been like, get out of here and go to rehab and do something. And what is going on with anyway? Can Naomi do anything about this?
Oh, my God.
What's happening with that? Naomi, where is she when all of this is happening?
WWE superstars rally around Naomi following the abuse from Jimmy Uso fans.
That's why I said it,
WWE superstars have been showing support for Naomi after she deleted her Twitter account thanks to the abuse of her husband Jimmy Uso's fans.
Right.
WWE superstars have been showing their support of Naomi after she had deactivated her Twitter.
Right. Well, what is this right here, though? One of the people who came to her aid was Mia Yim, and apparently Mia Yim condemned a fan who said that Naomi... what? Oh, Yim told the fan that she should commit suicide. Boy, that's a little too supportive.
That's
what the hell is that?
That's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. And by the way,
And the
why
WWE's okay with that?
just for the record, I made a
Go
joke.
commit suicide. Twitter
By the way,
freak.
I made a that's true. I made a joke of it, but what is wrong with people bothering Naomi over her husband, though? That's ridiculous. People are actually, what was that? It might have been that Julie Andrews guy, the one that's named there for a French fried potato.
Yeah. What is
You
that?
know, I can't even remember the guy's name. He's so forgettable.
By the way, Mr. Big's in the house. He says Alpha Hanoi Jr., son of Alpha Senior, who was the head of the table, should be the head of the table. It's his birthright.
I can't. I'm cool with that. I'm cool. You know how long that guy's been a champion?
A long time.
He's been champion for like years. Yeah. I would like to see him in a big program. That would work for me, quite honestly.
But he should be head of the table.
No, it's Roman.
Roman's head
Yeah,
of the
Roman's
table.
head of the table. Get out of here.
Roman's got the look.
What's a Roman's? Roman's head of the table. That's all. Unless, of course, somebody else comes back soon. And you know who that is.
Well, that's...
It doesn't matter who that is.
Oh, man, I can't believe I got busted by that.
What?
I fell for it. I'm like,
You walked right in. Unbelievable.
So what are your feelings on Naomi? Do you feel bad for Naomi?
Yes, I actually kind of do. You know how I feel about the trolling losers of the world, like the guy who's named after a French fried potato, that Julian French fry.
I gotcha.
Whatever the hell that is.
Oh, that's what you were going with it. I'm
that
sorry.
Complete loser.
Yeah, sometimes
But,
I'm a little clueless, everybody,
Oh,
I
that's
guess.
all right. That's all right. Right now he's stroking himself to a picture of a guy in Boston.
Well, it's okay because Rick B is getting attacked online right now too.
Rick
so
B Cup.
all the
I told you he's got to get some breast enhancement if he ever wants to be Rick D. I don't know what to tell you.
oh my God.
Look,
Anyway, we'll be right back
trolls don't-
after
don't
this
interest me,
commercial
you know.
break.
I'm in love with another world. I'll see you.
Do you treat your dog as part of the family? Well, so do we. So why not celebrate your pup's birthday with the ultimate party box? Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Party Pup Info, and let us make your pup's party or any celebration perfection.
Jimmy, I gotta take a dump. What? No, I mean I need a dumpster.
Well, For all those needs, you need to call Big V Dumpster Rental, Long Island, New York, 631-900-DUMP.
And Nitro's Garage for all your automotive needs. Call 646-675-2349. That's 646-675-2349. For all your automotive needs, Nitro's Garage. Ask for Jack.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. This is Monte the Pharaoh. I was reading a thing here. There's a little banter going on inside the page.
Sure.
And
What
you
do you got?
Crotch Ripper says, "How's Marty doing?" He put some disturbing comments on Facebook last night.
What?
I have no idea, dude. I didn't look at his Facebook. He seems to be doing okay. He messaged me this morning, so I guess he's okay. What did you see that he wrote, Crotch? Put it on there, and I'll see. All right.
Okay.
We got Money in the Bank on Sunday.
Yes, sir.
We'll go through some of the matches,
Sure,
see
what
what
do you
people
got?
think.
What do you got?
Ricochet versus John Morrison versus Matt Riddle versus Drew McIntyre versus Big E versus Kevin Owens versus King Nakamura versus Seth Rollins in the Money in the Bank for the World Championship.
Where the hell is that? I don't see it on my sheet. Oh, God. Anyway.
I would say that.
I would say that it's not.
Probably on the next page in front.
It doesn't
Look at him
matter.
going through the page.
Anyway, so what do you think of the match? I mean,
I think anybody in this of this group could win, except for Ricochet,
Why?
because
What do you mean except for Ricochet? Ricochet is actually getting a pretty nice push all of a sudden.
I think. Do
Why
you
would
want
it
to see?
not be
Do you want to
Ricochet?
see Ricochet in a main event on any pay-per-view?
Let me tell you something. After seeing Otis, the worst briefcase holder in the history
Wow.
of Money in the Bank, Otis, any one of these guys would be an improvement over Otis. That's how bad that was handled. So, I don't know, man. I logically, wouldn't it be a guy like Rollins? But now that the fans are back, can you see the fans?
Well,
we
Bronze
don't
brings.
like Seth Rollins.
Well, Bronze brings up a good
bro.
point. WWE needs some shock, right, on
Yeah.
Sunday.
Okay.
So I don't see where you're going to get some shock out of the men's main event, right? Because there's
Right.
Again, do you really want Drew McIntyre to take home?
No,
the Money
I
in the
want
Bank?
King Nakamura to win it. But
Yeah.
that's what I want.
Do you have a
want King
prediction for this? I know
Nakamura.
you hate predictions, so do I.
No, well, if you go by, usually if someone's red hot, the pay-per-view there's a letdown. And it's the other way around. If someone's ice cold, then all of a sudden, boom, the pay-per-view, there's your shock. So, for some reason, I think John Morrison fits that bill.
Wow.
I don't know why. Would he be the greatest Money in the Bank holder ever? No. But the guy's a former world champion
Do you know
almost
what I
everywhere
understand?
else he's been.
Didn't Kevin Owens say he was taking a break for a while? What's he doing in this match? I just
Kevin Owens
realized
is the
that.
workhorse that they beg to stay around.
I thought he was like taking a few months off.
Did you catch that? He's the workhorse that they beg to stay. Oh, Kevin, just a couple more months, you'll be off. All right, man. All right. I think he's one of them. I think he's a workhorse. He might have filled Moxley's role because you remember Dean Ambrose was the guy who was working 350 days.
I think the smart moves.
And then he fell asleep.
I think the smart moves to go. I think the smart moves is to go with Big E on this, right? Because at least with Big E, you got to do a whole bunch of
I
different
guess
things.
so.
with
Do
him,
you
right?
really look at Big E as a world champion, though? And I'm sure
do
there's some people like,
sometimes.
yes. I don't.
I do sometimes. Other times I don't.
I don't for some reason. I just don't. I would like Nakamura to get the world title. I would, but I don't think that he would pick Reigns. I think that if Nakamura is to win the briefcase, I can see Nakamura beating Bobby Lashley. I can, and anybody
Wow.
who dude
Beating Bobby Lashley.
Quite honestly, when it comes to body of work, career and stuff, Bobby Lashley's no Shinsuke Nakamura. That's my opinion.
What a Nakamura mark you are.
I am,
really
but
are.
Nakamura is one of the all-time
He is,
international
but
greats. That's all
I'm
there
not
is
going
to
to
it,
disagree with that, but
you
I
know?
can't.
In
I don't
Japan,
know.
he's probably top 5 with some of the things he's
All right,
accomplished.
so if I was going
you
to
know?
say Nakamura, I'm going to go with Big E. Not that it matters, right? It's people writing
I'm
a
not
script.
saying
so.
anything. I refuse. By the way, there's a reason why Mike likes predictions. I think that it's a joke. We're actually trying to predict someone who's writing a script. What am I supposed to do? Predict Walking Dead next week? That makes me an expert.
And then if Farrah gets it wrong, it ruins it for him. That's why it's
I don't like watching a match knowing that I must, I made this pick. I want to just enjoy it. What is so weird about that?
The one
Hey, I ain't gonna be right. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be like that. How
how many idiots, and you've pointed it out 1,000 times. Hey, it's Dickie Dirtbags Pro Wrestling Poop Podcast. Hey, I got every match right. You mark loser, who cares? I guessed every script right. I don't want to be like that. I just want to watch the match and enjoy it and root for who I want to root for. You know? That's
You're right,
how I
though.
look at it.
If you're really going to bet pro football. At least you make some money on it.
And what is the point, though? I'm such an expert. I want to make me sick. Just want to enjoy the matches.
David G says, Pharaoh, hopefully Morrison wins. Next show, he's going to have to sing Morrison's song. Okay.
Oh, you mean the... Oh, no. I was hoping it might be a Jim Morrison song I'll sing, but not a John Morrison
not a John
song.
Morrison.
You know, Miz and Morrison and all
Gotcha.
that song's
All
terrible.
right, so here's the women's match: Asuka, Naomi, Alexa Bliss,
Right.
Nikki Ash, the superhero,
Dude, you
Liv
gotta-
Morgan, Zelina Vega, and Natalia, and
To be
the to be determined.
Dude, you gotta tell me what happened to Nikki Cross.
Dude, that's a pretty good gimmick, dude.
What happened?
He's a superhero.
What did she find, like kryptonite or something?
It's good stuff.
I missed it. It's
fun.
Where did it come from?
Just came out like that
I
one day.
can't.
I don't know.
It's ridiculous. You
All right.
think that's a good gimmick?
No, it's all right. It's fun.
Are you kidding me?
Dude, there's nothing wrong with a little
Career
fun.
over. That is like I can hear it. She's shaking. They made me a superhero.
All right, so there's two ways they could go with this match. They could have Alexa Bliss win it using her superpowers and having everybody just pass out, and then she climbs to the top of the ladder and takes the belt. And if you really want to piss off the live fans there, that would be the way to go.
They'll go ballistic. Everybody's like, ugh.
They just faint.
The crowd will boo her out of the building.
How great would that be?
It would be pretty funny.
Or the to be determined could be, we spoke about this, Charlotte Flair.
No.
If she loses to Rhea Ripley, she
Nope.
gets in there.
I know who it should be. It should be Tessa Blanchard.
Oh my God, that would
That's
be.
who it should be.
Could you imagine?
Yes, I can imagine it. Do it. You know, whatever happened to those kind of moments? Do it. I'd love to see that.
Mr. Big says WWE's missing the boat on McIntyre and Sheamus. Yeah, can't disagree with that. Those, I think
Those
that's the way
two-
they're gonna have to go.
Those two. Wait
So,
a minute, you're not interested in Jinder and the sword and all of that?
That-
What's the matter, Mr. Big? You don't like the Jinder? I have your
sword.
sword, though. It's horrible.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Oh my God, this could be terrible.
It's really rough.
Or, all right, so you
So
is
who do
there
you
a
have
chance for Tessa? Is there a chance that Tessa's the to be determined?
You know what? Probably not, because they never do things like this, and they should.
It's probably going to be Sasha Banks, and Sasha Banks will win the Money in the Bank, and
Really?
she's back at it.
Why can't they give it to Zelina Vega? That would be interesting. Wouldn't that be interesting? What about Liv Morgan?
That wouldn't be a bad deal.
Liv Morgan's starting to get a bit of a push.
Not bad.
Maybe it'll be Liv Morgan.
I want to go with the Tessa Blanchard thing. That would be hot.
Okay. I would love to see that. As far as I'm concerned, that would be the best of all. But she'd wipe the floor with all of these.
Lashley against Kofi Kingston.
I so hope that Bobby does to Kofi exactly what he said he was going to do to Kofi at the end of that show. That he's going to rip him in half, he's going to tear him from limb to limb, and he's going to cave in further that chest that doesn't exist anyway. He's just going to cave it in even further.
Kofi Mania over.
I never had Kofi Mania, and that's no disrespect. Kofi's a good wrestler, yada, 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 but I hated every second of that. And I was so thrilled when Brock Lesnar came back and was like, oh, you're champ? Next.
Done.
See ya. He doesn't strike me as a world champion. I'm sorry. It's got nothing to do with how good he is.
802 says Tessa's going to AEW.
All right, ruin it for me there, 802. Thanks. He's probably right. What are you gonna do? Wait a minute though. Hasn't she been rumored to be going there for the longest time? I haven't seen her there yet.
I think you have a chance.
I got a chance.
Wait a minute, this is a good one.
We got.
Albister Figueroa, I hope I'm saying that. I bet Alexa Bliss's farts smell like cotton candy and rainbows. I can't.
That is, yeah, he's probably right. He's probably right. She probably smells like a Jolly Rancher
Are
when
you
she
saying?
passes.
Are you saying she's so hot that she can do it?
Her shit don't
Yo,
stink.
by the way, we were speaking about this. This is off subject, but we were speaking about growing up
Yeah.
and the women wrestlers
When did
that
that
we had
happen?
to endure
Yeah.
against the women wrestlers, these young people who are watching this
my
show right now
God.
that they get to see on a regular basis.
Today's fan gets like Pornhub quality, and we had ugly feet and disgusting
crow neck and.
Who was the hottest female wrestler
I can't.
when we were growing? Like who?
Well, first of all, I don't think there were any.
Okay.
When
fair enough.
Elizabeth showed up, it was the first one we said, "Wow, she's pretty," because before that we had Moolah,
Right.
and we had McIntyre's feet, and we had Lalani.
Velvet
We had
McIntyre.
Lalani Y. We had.
Wait a minute, I'm friends with her. Stop.
Wait
Don't
a
say
minute.
that.
Are you?
Yes, I am.
Now she's going to think I'm a complete asshole.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot.
way to go, pal.
Thanks a lot. Well, it was still rough. Anyway, what?
Wendy Richter?
Yeah, but when you look at it now, you realize that Wendy Richter was...
She was like the hottest one there, right? It was like, oh,
But
Wendy
when you
Richter.
see now, it's like, what are you kidding me? Mandy Rose looked like she just stepped out of the Playboy channel. And that's no knock. That's like, hello.
Right,
You know?
right.
Why didn't you tell me you were friends with Lalani? Now she's not going to have...
I didn't know.
She's going to be mad at me now. You jerk.
can't.
Right, anyway.
But the fans are lucky. The fans are lucky out there. They get to watch the women that are wrestling today. And I'm not trying to be a sexist. It's just what it is.
It just comes naturally.
Rhea Ripley against Charlotte Flair. Now, this is disappointing. I really want Charlotte Flair to win back the
Right,
title.
right.
I think
agree.
that's where it belongs.
I agree 1,000%.
But
you know
what
what
happens
though?
to
Rhea's-
Rhea's career? What happens to her career if she loses this match?
What, Rhea?
Yeah.
Nothing. Rhea come back and stomp people again. What's the problem? What, she can never lose now?
So who's better? Who's better off losing this match? Who can survive? It
I
better?
don't think Charlotte's winning this match. If she does, I'd be shocked. You know. But what do you do with Charlotte after that?
That's what I'm saying. How long you keep damaging Charlotte? Like
Yeah, I
this?
don't think I can go much longer. No, you know, this is a tough call. This really is. Rhea should win. I mean, how long has her title reign been? It's not been that long.
She hasn't done much.
No, she hasn't, quite honestly. I still would like to see Charlotte win. I agree. I would love to see Charlotte win.
AJ Styles and Omos versus
Almost.
versus the Viking Raiders.
He's almost 30 feet tall.
I just wish it was almost over. That's what I was hoping.
Really? You're not into that? Whole
Dude,
thing?
I don't even get the Viking Raider. I mean,
This is
I don't even.
ridiculous.
Dude, I'm becoming an AEW fan.
Listen, I was just about to say, you mean to tell me that they let the revival, the FDR go, and this is what they push? This is not my idea of. This is not
Oh
good.
my God!
Dude,
Oh look!
Dude,
Wait a minute, hold on. I'm looking at something.
What do you
Hey,
got?
what we got here?
I see you looking at something. What are you looking at?
You got a little Rick B saying,
Oh, what do
you
you want?"
support these jabronis.
Oh, shut
my
up.
God.
You loser.
Oh, Rick.
I mean,
come
for God's
on,
sakes, you
man.
tune in just to be like, I hate you guys, dude. If I don't like something, I don't pay any attention to it. What's wrong with you? Anyway,
Unbelievable.
I'm going back and I'm going to tell my friend. Go ahead. God, pathetic. Fucking pathetic.
The main event, Roman Reigns against Edge for the Universal Championship.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. I want Roman to win. I'm sorry, I'm not on the Edge train. I don't know if I've ever fully been on the Edge train. I think he's great and all. Don't get me wrong. But, yeah. Roman. He's winning, and he's continuing. And
Does Cena show up at Money in the Bank?
no. I don't think so.
Save Edge, maybe...
I mean, really, you're going to water down Edge? Edge loses, and here's John Cena. I mean, holy,
Or
watering down
maybe
Edge.
Edge gets, like the Usos attack him and they're just all beating the hell out of Edge and Cena comes out and saves the day. Closes out the show. Remember, beginning of show, end of show, most important parts.
Yeah, I agree, but I don't know. If it happens, great, but I'm getting tired of these John Cena rumors. Show up already if you're going to show up.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, what is SummerSlam a month away? Maybe he shows up a week from now. He might even show up the next night after the pay-per-view. How's that sound?
Might.
He might. He might do that.
Rick B saying he'd like to keep the feud going.
Well, you'd like to, but the way I see it is it's already over. You got stomped. Next.
That's it.
Yeah, next.
All right, upcoming shows, everybody. July 31st, 8 p.m. That's a Friday. MTV star and Mob Wives star Marissa Jade is in studio along with ECW legend Joel Gertner.
Well. I love Joel Gertner. Can't wait. That's going to be awesome. But where's Marissa Jade going to be sitting?
On the couch.
She's going to be over there. All the way over there?
Over there.
All right, good. That's safe.
On August 5th, that's
Oh
a
my
Thursday at 9 p.m., we have a tribute to New Jack with his partner, Mustafa, along with Super Crazy.
Awesome.
You don't really get a lot of interviews with Super Crazy,
No.
so that should be kind of fun. So
speak
we're asking
Spanish?
Do I?
You're going to need to.
Come si llama. Come mi chiamo. No, it's Italian.
What? Oi. That's Jewish.
Dude, that's really great.
What?
Asking questions in English and getting answers in Spanish.
Yeah, I don't speak Spanish, though. This could be...
Here's one I'm
I speak a
excited
little.
for. August 12th, which is a Thursday, the First Lady of Wrestling, Missy Hyatt,
Nice.
is
Very
in
nice.
studio.
Very nice. Very nice.
Thoughts on Missy?
Well, she's one of the hottest babes from the day. From back
Oh, my
in the
God.
day. She
And I
was
think she's still
smoking it.
pretty good looking.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Would not be surprised.
Indie Taker 366, like anybody else, we're not afraid to read the comments. You guys look like a dollar store Opie and Anthony. Well, thank you there, buddy.
I went to school with one of them anyway, so
With Opie and Anthony.
yeah.
Yeah, Anthony's from our town. You didn't know that?
Is he really?
Yeah, he's from our town. Yeah, he went to our school. Yep. Yep.
So most importantly,
Oh, and he said you're a douche. I just thought I'd let you know because we're gonna be smoking
dude,
later.
Indie Taker, that's terrible. That guy said you were a douche. I feel so bad for you right now. Very important, on September 17th, Monte The Pharaoh want to thank our YouTube subscribers and not subscribers, but members,
Yeah.
as we have signed WWE Hall of Famer, ECW superstar, to a 90-minute interview. Mr. Rob Van Dam, that interview,
The whole fucking show.
the whole effing
The
show,
whole fucking show.
will be in studio. This interview will be exclusive to Monte and the Pharaoh members,
That means you're not allowed to watch it, Rick B. Next.
unless he becomes a member.
He's probably just checking his member.
Nah,
When he doesn't have his hands on the keyboard.
he'd rather watch old Jed interviews from 2000. And
Wow, he said this 7
17.
years ago. And this is the fourth time he's loaded it up. Let's check it out again. How exciting. That's great. Hey, what's this intro mean? I don't know. But I'm
But
already
anyway,
10 minutes
we're
in.
very excited. Really, though, we want to thank everybody for the support, and we thought it would be a good idea to give these exclusive, the members this exclusive interview.
Absolutely. Our members
where
are
you
awesome.
can ask RVD your questions
Absolutely.
and everything else. So
Definitely.
this is our little call to you and
Definitely.
say
Definitely.
we really, really appreciate it.
Yeah. And if you're thinking about becoming a member, there you go. You get some exclusive perks from the Monte and the Pharaoh. So
Oh, absolutely.
that's going to be
absolutely.
awesome. Rob Van Dam, we've had dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of guests, Hall of Famers, all over across the board. My God, you're bringing in, besides Greg Valentine, Rob Van Dam is my favorite guy of all the guys we've brought into this point. So I'm losing my mind over this one.
This could be a big
Losing
one,
my
dude.
mind. I'm going to be rolling for days
Absolutely.
to get Rob ready for this interview. I think he's going to be pretty happy too. Oh, for me? Anyway, should go well.
CJ, thanks again, buddy. RVD hype. Get hype, bro. Get your questions ready. Thanks for the bits. That was very nice of you. Get your questions ready. Very, again, RVD's been interviewed by a couple of people, but he's actually going to be in studio.
Awesome.
And we'll be able to get your questions to him. It's just going to be fantastic. Very excited. I'm really excited for this whole group of interviews. Missy Hyatt.
Yep.
You know,
Don't forget Joel Gertner and Mustafa and Super
and we got
Crazy
some other surprises coming up. You're probably going to see Sabu in studio.
Wow. Wow.
That's going to happen.
Really now?
Yeah.
Interesting.
There's going to be.
There's rumors flying about possibly there. might be
Mr.
a-
Big, you are an honorary member.
There we go. Is there any possibility? I've been hearing rumors about there's a Ganya out there.
Greg Gagne has contacted the show. He would like to come on. He has an exclusive he wants to share on the M&P show. So
Awesome.
that'll be coming up. But
Awesome.
again, guys, all those
Awesome.
interviews, everything is free. The RVD one, we wanted to make sure that everybody that's a member gets something a little special from
because
us,
they
right?
deserve it. They've been so loyal, and they always have intelligent, smart things, good comments, and everything. I mean, love it. Love it. They definitely get something here, too. They get RVD all to themselves.
That's it.
That's,
You along with RVD.
that's our thank you to you guys at home. Thank you.
Any final words there, Jimmy? Anything good to tell anybody?
Well, the good news is just that this weekend we might both actually get some sleep.
That's true.
Because, you know,
That's
being
true.
up at 4 o'clock every morning until God knows when is kind of rough. But also for you folks out there, keep your eyes out tomorrow night before SmackDown at 7:30.
Yes.
We proudly present to you Monte and the Pharaoh presents This Week in Wrestling. That'll be on every Friday right before SmackDown. 7:30 to 8 o'clock on YouTube, I'm assuming.
That
there,
is
brother?
correct, sir. Yep.
And it's just a recap, you know, nothing, you know, we're not going to sit there and stick it under the microscope and be like, we know everything. No, we're just going to review some of the major things that happened over the week, not just in WWE or, you know, AEW. If there's something going on in TNA we want to talk about, or Ring of Honor or New Japan or whatever. It just keeps us going with more of our content for, you know, some fans love old school.
Yep.
Some fans love new school. Some fans love both. We happen to be, me very much so, loves old and new school. Mike definitely stays up on the current product, but is a huge old school guy. So we just wanted to offer more for the viewers out there to wrap their wrestling minds around, and that's pretty much it. So every Friday from 7:30 to 8, you can catch Monte and the Pharaohs This Week in Wrestling, where we recap everything that's been going on. And, of course, you've still got our Thursday Night Insanity.
That's right.
So, you know, we appreciate you guys tuning in. And until next week, you've been watching Monte and the Pharaoh. Until next time, later.